Welcome to Add It Up, the podcast that makes ad tech make sense, even if you've never worked in advertising a day in your life. In this series, we take complex stuff and we break it down into simple, everyday language. Because in an industry full of acronyms and jargon, it shouldn't be this hard to understand what's really going on. I'm ksanford from MediaOcean, and whether you're brushing up, just learning something new, or honestly just curious, I'm glad you're here. Welcome to episode 4 of Add It Up. In our last episode, we went into ad servers, and now we're going to expand off that with a sort of mini episode. So today we're going to cover off on the different types of ad placements, so basically where an ad sits. And then we're going to cover off on some common audience targeting strategies and optimization strategies, so ways to make it better. Chapter 1, the placement. When delivering ads, companies need to choose where they want their ads to sit. And then they also choose what format they want the ads to take. So that's where advertisers can work with things like ad networks, which we covered off before, to help them maximize the scope of platforms that they're putting their ads on. Not only that, so like I said before, they can also choose the format. So let's cover off on what some of the common formats for ads are. So number 1 is display ads. This is just a term for ads that contain an image, video, or banner that are hosted on websites, apps, or honestly, really any digital platform. So honestly, I kind of consider this like the default setting for an ad. When you imagine a classic ad somewhere, like on a website, they're often display ads. Next up are native ads, which are similar to display ads, but rather than being like an image or a video that are clearly advertisements, these are ads that are designed to match the styling and format of the platform that they're on. So an example, think of seeing an ad on TikTok and you couldn't tell it was an ad at first when you scrolled up to it. That's a good example of what a native ad strives to do. Next up, we have video ads, which are self-explanatory, right? These are the video ads that you often see on platforms like YouTube or on streaming apps. Next up, we have search ads. These are the ads that come up when you search something, like on Google or Yahoo, for example. So have you ever looked up something just for a different option to show up at the top of the search results with a little sponsored written next to it? Yeah, they paid to get that in front of you. So that covers off on the most common types of ads. But let's go into chapter 2, targeting. Targeting is the process of identifying and reaching the specific audience that's most likely to engage with your ad, your product, your message, or your brand. So we touched briefly on examples of this in the last episode, but let's dive a little deeper into some of the key types of targeting that are often used in advertising. So number 1, we have demographic targeting. So this reaches audiences based on characteristics like age, gender, household income, education level, marital status, or occupation. Next, we have geographic targeting. This delivers ads to users based off things like specific countries, regions, cities, zip codes, or within a defined radius of a physical location. Remember what we talked about with ad servers? We're saying like something in the Los Angeles metropolitan area? Something like that. Next, interest-based targeting. This targets consumers based on topics, hobbies, passions, or categories of content that they're most likely or they commonly interact with. Next is behavioral targeting. So this uses observed online behaviors. So an example of that would be like someone's browsing activity, what kind of content they're consuming, what apps they use, even their purchase history to find people's interests and then serve them relevant ads. Next is contextual targeting. So this is all about context. It places ads alongside content that is relevant to the advertiser's message. So an example, right? Maybe there's a travel brand and they're advertising and putting ads on articles that are about vacation destinations. Next, retargeting. We touched on this last time, but this is a strategy that re-engages consumers who have previously interacted with the brand. So interactions can be things like visiting a website, viewing a product page, or even abandoning a shopping cart. And then they try to target those people to get them to ultimately convert. Next up, we have lookalike or similar audience targeting. This strategy uses machine learning to find new audiences who share characteristics with a brand's existing customers or with high value users. Chapter 3, Optimization. So, in addition to determining who sees an ad, advertisers can also control when, where, and how often ads are delivered. So, let's go into some of the strategies that they use for this. First up, we have day parting. This is a process whereby advertisers schedule ads to run during specific times of day, or maybe even days of the week, to reach target audiences when they're most active or most likely to convert. So, for example, a restaurant may increase advertising during lunch or dinner hours when they think people will go. Next is frequency capping. This limits the number of times one person can see the same ad within a given period. Like we mentioned before, it helps prevent ad fatigue, so people don't get sick of seeing your ad, and it just improves their experience. So have you ever seen the same ad on TV multiple times a day or even a week and gotten sick of it? 1, you're not alone. 2, this aims to reduce that. Next is device targeting. This delivers ads based on device type. So it'll look at things like if you're on desktop, if you're on mobile, if you're using a tablet or a connected TV, so like streaming, or even gaming consoles. And it will give you an ad specific to that channel. Next, platform and channel targeting. So this also adjusts delivery across channels, such as social media, search, display, video, audio, CTV, and it's all based on audience behavior and what they want to get out of their campaign. Next is proximity targeting. So this serves ads to consumers when they enter a specific geographic area. So like if someone gets close to a specific store or an event venue maybe, or even a competitor, that can trigger an ad. Next, weather, event, and trigger-based targeting. So this uses real-time events, so things like weather conditions or sports scores, local events, maybe even inventory, to dynamically adjust an ad to deliver it to someone. Next, sequential messaging. Again, we touched on this in our last episode, but this delivers a planned series of ads in a specific order to guide consumers through different stages of the customer journey. So from awareness, where they're learning about the brand, to consideration, where they're maybe thinking about buying, and conversion, to where they ultimately do. In summary, as I'm sure you'll get tired of me saying, this is not an exhaustive list. But it's a good look at how comprehensive and complicated setting up an effective advertising campaign can be. But when all of the pieces come together to reach the right person with the right ad, it's all worth it. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for listening. If you found this helpful, of course, as always, be sure to subscribe. And if you have a specific topic you'd like to hear next, you can always find me at ksanford@mediaocean.com. See you next time.
You're listening to the Media Ocean Podcast Network. For more of our shows, visit www.mediaocean.com/podcasts.